home that was there saying, I will take the child, I will take the child. Somebody else was yelling, they saw that I was there and said, school is here, they can take the child, you don't have to take them. And there was ample opportunity to be able to safely hand that.
Gabriela Primus.
I'm Brian Jackson. Here's a look at some of the stories we're following this morning, including the dangerously cold temperatures blanketing all of Chicago. Mike's going to give some details on just how long that cold will be sticking around.
And that cold is impacting train schedules, what you need to know if you plan to commute this morning.
And warming centers are available all over the area where you can find that information. Mike?
You know, from time to time, I'm sure this morning we're going to be taking shots of the bean. We usually see a few people out there. Wonder who's going to be braving that today.
Not us.
Very brave souls if they are.
Yeah, this is painful to be outside. Good morning, everybody. Here are the current wind chills. This is going to grab the lion's share of the attention throughout the day today. 31 below zero at Aurora, 30 below zero at Woodstock, 18 below zero at Joliet. Officially at O'Hare, it's 23 below zero, 19 below zero at Gary. And we continue with that cold condition, an extreme cold warning in effect for the Chicago area till noon. And then that will be followed up with a cold weather advisory through Saturday morning. These are the actual temperatures on the way down. 7 below at Woodstock, 5 below at Aurora, 1 below at the lakefront, still a little bit above zero. 2 in Valparaiso. Right, Gabby?
Well, warming centers will be open all over the Chicago area to provide some relief from these dangerously cold temperatures. For hours and locations, you can contact 311 or download the Shy 311 app. Chicago Public Libraries and police stations will also be used as warming centers during business hours. In the suburbs, residents are urged to please check county websites for information on how to stay warm.
And a reminder for anyone who rides a train, both Metra and the South Shore Line are reducing service today because of the cold. So Metra is going to be running on an alternative schedule, severe weather schedule, excuse me. Now, it's similar to the service offered on Saturdays and Sundays. All stops will still happen. There will just be fewer trains for Metra. They say it's the first time they've had to do this since the polar vortex in 2019.
We have had other polar vortexes since then, but because of COVID and reduced schedules, it wasn't as necessary. So after 2019, we really looked at it because it's great to promise people service, but you need to be able to deliver. Our goal is to be reliable. And if you put a bunch of trains out there and one of them has a problem because of the weather, then you basically, everything stacks up behind. We end up people stuck on trains. We also are leaving people out in the cold.
And for folks over in Northwest Indiana, the South Shore Line is also making some changes today, running on a weekend holiday schedule.
Well, ComEd is preparing for the extreme cold. The company will have 24-hour staff and generators on standby to help with any power outages. To keep warm, they recommend that you clear the areas around your vents and also make sure to seal any cracks around your windows or doors.
New this morning, District 65 has voted to close Kingsley Elementary School in Evanston. A special meeting about the future of the school was held last night. Officials say it's due to cost cutting as the district is looking to cut $11 million from the budget. The school is Title I, meaning they get funding for students from low-income households. It will close at the end of the school year.
A jury finds a Chicago man not guilty in a murder-for-hire plot targeting Border Patrol Commander Gregory Bavino. Prosecutors argued that Juan Espinoza Martinez put a $10,000 bounty for Bavino on Snapchat. His defense team claimed that he only had roughly $20 in his bank account and that message was sent as a joke, saying that he was just repeating neighborhood gossip.
A new round of peace talks begins today to end the war in Ukraine. President Trump says he's reasonably close to a deal after meeting with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. Meanwhile, Trump's special envoy Steve Witkoff and son-in-law Jared Kushner met with Russian President Vladimir Putin yesterday. Talks between all three countries are scheduled for today and tomorrow.
The family of a 12-year-old girl patted down by Joliet police is now suing. This all happened during a traffic stop back in 2024. The 12-year-old and her sister were driving to visit their grandmother when they were pulled over for suspicion of suspended registration. A federal lawsuit is being filed against the city of Joliet on behalf of the family. The attorney says that the department has acknowledged that the search violated policy and that the officer has been disciplined.
We asked the city of Joliet to sit down and talk to us about the concerns of the family. They refused. They ignored us. They acted like frisking a 12-year-old girl was no big deal. But it's a big deal to the Jones family, and it's a big deal to our law firm. The 12-year-old did not pose a threat to anyone.
We did reach out to Joliet Police. They say the department is unable to comment on any pending litigation.
An update to a story that we brought you yesterday. A local pastor and his congregation are now looking to rebuild after their church was destroyed in a fire. Their church in Ford Heights caught fire on Wednesday. The pastor says the nearly 60-year-old house of worship was undergoing some renovations with tens of thousands of dollars already spent to restore the building. They're now asking the public for donations to help get them back on their feet.
I said it before, my heart is in my stomach, you know, to see that my building is not here, or I just can't go turn the key any time of the day to walk in to go clean up. I spend a lot of time in this church, you know, times when I wasn't even at home doing nothing, I was here, you know, so to not be able to do that is really hurtful. It's like it's still unbelievable to me right now. Still unbelievable.
The cause of the fire is still under investigation. To learn more on how to donate, head to our website, fox32chicago.com.
Lawmakers in Indiana take another step closer to luring the Bears for a brand new stadium. Yesterday, a Senate committee passed legislation that would set up the Northwest Indiana Stadium Commission. They would finance and build a new stadium for the Bears. Sources say that the Wolf Lake site in Hammond is the front runner right now. Hammond Mayor Tom McDermott says that site offers several advantages.
For the Bears as a business, it gives them all the advantages of being an Indiana business, you know, lower liability rates for your employees. I mean, obviously a better business environment in general. We have a surplus as a state, so I imagine our state would be able to offer more than Illinois is willing to offer, because it seems like Illinois is sort of digging in against the Bears, which is shocking to me. I mean, in the Bears fight song, it's the pride of Illinois, and it doesn't seem like they're being treated like the pride of Illinois right now.
A deal could be presented within weeks, so the clock is now ticking for Illinois lawmakers to move on legislation.
Well, some other tough decisions for the Bears now when it comes to players whose contracts are coming to an end.
This is always the case after every season, Mike. We're going to see what this team will look like next year.
Right, and you know, there are a few names being bandied about that they're looking at. Certain Raider, perhaps. You heard about that one? All right, the Bears, they've got 27 players who are going to be eligible for free agency. The most notable in the secondary, Kevin Byard, Jaquan Brisker, Nahshon Wright, and C.J. Gardner-Johnson, all eligible to go bye-bye. What do the Bears do if they can't keep both Byard and Brisker? 670 The Score's Lawrence Holmes has this to say.
Oh, it's so rough. Jaquan Brisker, I thought, you know, one, he stayed healthy all year. Two, you look at the impact that he had in playoff games. Kevin Byard, this is one of your guys. Like, this is him buying into Ben Johnson was significant. And him, with a guy that's got that type of resume, him being able to buy in and bring other people along on the buy-in, I think is great. I would probably lean Byard, but it would be very close because Jaquan Brisker, if deployed right, and I think he's in the right defense now, that guy can be an absolute menace.
He sure was in that playoff game this past weekend. Blackhawks on the road taking on a really good Carolina Hurricanes team. Tied at 2 in the third when Connor Murphy gave the Hawks the lead, but the Canes come right back, tying it just a matter of seconds later with the wraparound there. So we go to the shootout. This took a while, the 5th round. Watch this. Here comes Oliver Moore, slow. And he beats him for the winner. And that is great news for Oliver Moore because it was his 21st birthday. He'll remember that one for a long time. The Bulls on the road to Minnesota taking on the Timberwolves. Josh Giddey returning to the lineup. Remember, he was dealing with that hamstring injury. Bulls were down a point with 34 seconds left to get a bucket from Trey Jones to take the lead. Minnesota had a chance to tie it, but Anthony Edwards is going to miss a 3 with under 10 seconds left, which means Bulls win 120 to 115. How about this one? Trinity Rodman. Name sound familiar? Yes, the daughter of Dennis Rodman. She's making history. She signed a 3-year deal with the Washington Spirit of the National Women's Soccer League. She earns over $2 million annually. The deal makes her the highest paid player in league history and the highest paid female soccer player in the world. Congratulations and enjoy that nice paycheck. All right, some low clouds hanging over the city right now. Could squeeze a flurry out, but this is not part of that big storm system that is going to be making national headlines and impacting our weather over the weekend. Right now, the main focus is on the temperatures. Here's what we've got. 8 below at Woodstock, 5 below at Aurora, 1 below at Chicago Heights Midway in the lakefront, still just a little bit above 0 in northwest Indiana, 1 at Valpo, Merrillville, and Gary. And we do have enough wind out there to make it painful to be outside for any period of time. Northwest winds generally between about 15 and 20. Waukegan, one of the stronger gusts now with a 25-mile-an-hour wind. So let's look at the wind chills, what it feels like, not on your pipes, not on the car radiator, skin that is exposed. 30 below 0 at Woodstock, 32 below at DeKalb. Those are among the colder spots. Lots of minus 15s to 25s on here, and these numbers are going down. In blue, that is an extreme cold warning. It expires at noon. Subsequently, a cold weather advisory will be in effect until 9 o'clock tomorrow. This is a long duration of really dangerous. If it's not dangerous, it's certainly quite painful to be outside. I'm putting 4 up for the high. That happened at midnight. Northwest winds 12 to 24. Wind chills are going to be between 20 and 30 below all day long. Tonight, 8 below, very cold. Wind chills 15 below to 25 below. Not as harsh because the winds will have died down. Then we're going to be talking about snow here. Some snow tomorrow, especially at night. I think we have an accumulating snow on Sunday. But at this point, I'm looking for widespread 3s and 4s across the area, maybe a little more near the lake. Then just bone-chilling cold with some lake effect in Indiana on Monday. Temperatures way below normal through next week.
Thank you, Mike.
Coming up, Vice President J.D. Vance visits Minneapolis. What he is saying about the ongoing unrest there.
And why there is now an investigation into the death of Indianapolis Colt owner Jim Irsay.
I hadn't heard about the Irsay.
The best Chicago.
Now in Good Day Chicago, we're feeling some of the dangerously cold temperatures this morning. Warming centers will be available across the area For hours and locations in Chicago, you can contact 311 or download the Shy 311 app. In the suburbs, residents are urged to check county websites.
Both Metra and the South Shore line are reducing service because of the cold today. Metra is running on an alternative severe weather schedule. It's similar to the service that they usually offer on the weekends, Saturdays and Sundays. The South Shore line is running on a weekend holiday schedule.
A new round of peace talks begins today to end the war in Ukraine. President Trump met with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky yesterday. Talks between all three countries are scheduled for today and tomorrow.
The Chicago man charged in the murders of his ex-wife and her dentist husband in Ohio will be arraigned today. Michael David McKee is accused of killing his ex-wife, Monique Tepe, and her husband, Spencer, in their home in Columbus back on December the 30th. He was arrested in Rockford, where he is a surgeon.
Vice President J.D. Vance was part of a roundtable discussion with both community leaders and residents in Minneapolis. His visit comes at a time when the state has been at the center of protests over ICE carrying out the Trump administration's immigration enforcement plans. The unrest stepped up after an ICE agent shot and killed Renee Good earlier this month.
These guys will absolutely communicate with state and local officials. They'll tell people if they have to do an enforcement operation in a particular municipality. But part of that is they also want to ensure that if they're communicating about their whereabouts, that's not being used as a weapon against them.
The vice president also commented on the potential of President Trump invoking the Insurrection Act. He said based on what he saw yesterday, it's not needed, but that could change if there's more violence.
The United States has officially withdrawn from the World Health Organization. A year ago, President Trump signed an executive order directing the country to leave. The administration says it decided to withdraw because the U.S. wasn't getting a fair return on what it had contributed to the organization. Under U.S. law, a country must provide a year's notice and pay all outstanding fees before officially departing.
The FBI has issued a federal grand jury subpoena seeking records connected to the death of Indianapolis Colts owner Jim Irsay. A California addiction doctor treated him months before he died. He died last May at the age of 65. The Colts say it's aware of the investigation and the team has not been served any subpoenas. Millions of Americans are preparing for a potential historic winter storm that's expected to extend not only here, but over 2,000 miles this weekend.
Several states have already issued a state of emergency, and energy companies, they're now mobilizing additional utility crews for some of the snow and ice that is on the way. Road crews are also working overtime pre-treating the roads. As for stocking up on groceries, most of the stores are already empty.
We don't know what to the extent to which things are going to keep us in. So I got the essentials like water. I got a few canned foods and juices, some oil to do some cooking.
I mean, really just need water and a way to stay warm. I think we're lucky to have an apartment. Some people are not so lucky.
The winter storm is expected to stretch from Arizona all the way to Maine.
So essentially, Mike Kaplan, no one is safe.
Yeah, right. It's really a rare spot in the country that won't be impacted either by the cold or the precipitation or some combination therein. In fact, behind me now is a map that shows the developing storm system coming out of the kind of the Big Bend area of Texas. There's a secondary area of low pressure now in California. These two are going to conspire to bring all kinds of nasty weather to a big portion of the country. Later today and tonight, precipitation is going to start to break out there in the southwest. There will be a combination of some rain, sleet, freezing rain, and snow. And you can see that icing area moving into the southern plains here as we head toward tomorrow. For us, the fight is on between the Arctic high pressure system and the moisture coming in from the south. I think eventually that snow, it would be only snow for us, that is going to get in here maybe as early as tomorrow late afternoon, more likely tomorrow night. And this is probably going to come in two separate waves. There'll be whatever we get, light stuff tomorrow. And then on Sunday, another little slug of moisture comes up from the southwest. And that's when I think the greatest chance of seeing a few inches of accumulation will be as that storm system continues to move up into the Ohio Valley. And we will probably see snow much of the day on Sunday. 4, that was our high a few hours ago. Afternoon temperatures are going to be hovering right around 0, and these wind chills all day long will be between 20 and 30 below 0. Tonight, dropping down to 8 below 0. It won't be as windy, but we'll still be looking at wind chills between 15 and 25 below 0. All right, so the 7-day forecast. We have some light snow around tomorrow, especially late in the day and at night, and a high of only 10. And then I think it's snowing most of the day Sunday. Several inches of accumulation are likely, perhaps a little more near the lake. Monday, speaking of lake effect snow, northwest Indiana, you will be dealing with that. The rest of Chicagoland just bitterly cold again with a high of only 10. And these cold temperatures are not going away anytime soon, well below normal, right on through next week.
Okay, thank you, Mike.
Well, coming up, Bally's is delaying its Chicago casino opening. We'll tell you why some aldermen are concerned.
And you may have heard of this on social media. It's been going around. Can trees really explode in extreme cold? Well, we talked to an expert about what actually happens. We'll have the details coming up. Yeah, do you see that going on?
It is official, TikTok is staying here in the U.S.
Okay, more doom scrolling on our way. The social video platform company finalized a deal yesterday to create a new American version of the app. The agreement creates a new U.S. entity with major American ownership and oversight. Oracle and other U.S. investors will take control while China-based ByteDance keeps a minority stake. A law signed by President Biden would have banned TikTok in the U.S. unless it severed ties with China. Critics cited data concerns and influence risks. The deal allows the app to continue operating for its 170 million American users.
Well, Bally's is filing a request to extend its temporary gambling license in River North. They were supposed to open up a permanent casino this fall. State Representative Kent Buckner filed a bill last week that would extend the temporary license for Bally's for possibly another year. Bally's has been operating at the former Medina Temple since September of 2023. Their lease currently expires this September. Alderman Brian Hopkins didn't mince words at City Hall. He feels the project was a mistake and now has questions about why this new delay is happening.
I don't have a lot of confidence that they will open on time, but they're saying now they think they can, and they're also saying they have additional capital that they're going to infuse, even though they're struggling elsewhere. Again, on behalf of Chicago, I have to hope that they're telling us the truth, but all indications are this company was absolutely the worst choice we could have made.
We have reached out to Bally's, Representative Buckner, and the Illinois Gaming Board for comment, and so far have not heard back.
Timeout Market is closing its Fulton Market food hall for good today. Timeout Market CEO says the decision comes down to inconsistent foot traffic and higher operating costs. Timeout will continue to operate its food-centric website.
Well, we got some disappointing news for anyone hoping to be freezing for a reason this weekend. This year's Polar Plunge has been canceled, as you might expect, due to the cold. Organizers say that they're heartbroken, but of course everybody's safety comes first. They do still, though, plan to celebrate their fundraising success at an after party on Saturday afternoon.
Okay, they can still party.
Yeah.
So you may have heard about this on social media, as I said, but can trees really explode in extreme cold? Well, the technical term is frost crack. When moisture and sap inside the tree freezes during plummeting temperatures, pressure can build, sometimes leading to a break. Certain trees, especially those with smooth bark, are more susceptible.
I saw this first one happen about 15 years ago, and it's like an annual thing. As soon as we get the first prediction of a night going down to 0, I'm out the next day taking a look at it, because once this happened, it is causing a flaw in the tree, and it's a little bit concerning. Does this mean I need to take down the tree? No, but it means I need to keep a little bit of a close eye on it.
The split can create an avenue for insects and decay, but typically that split will close as summer comes around before reopening again next winter. So it's not a big, huge exploding tree in the middle of a forest or a park.
Once again, I'm going to blame the people who are, I call them like armchair weather people, for putting stuff online.
Leave it to the professionals.
Exploding tree warning, and so it led people to believe, the fiery bursts of, that is not what's, I'm glad we set the
Shards everywhere.
We have now officially had our coldest temperature so far of this winter. It is 4 below 0 at O'Hare, and that's the air temperature. Of course, we're really focusing on how it feels. And the wind chill right now is 25 below 0. Definitely warranting the extreme cold warning, which is in effect until noon. The worst of the cold is going to be in about the next 6 to 8 hours out there. The winds north-northwest at 16 miles per hour. Feast your eyes on a few other even lower wind chills than that. We've got 32 below in Woodstock. Rockford is worse. We've got 20 below at Chicago's lakefront, about the same at Gary. Everywhere today, wind chills will eventually be between 20 and 30 below 0. Absolutely miserable. And adding to that will be some snow. Now, today there's going to be some lake effect snow, maybe northeastern Porter, but definitely parts of LaPorte and Berrien County as this cold northwest wind passes over the largely unfrozen waters of Lake Michigan. Today is going to be a dry day with some sunshine, but that sun isn't going to help much. Take a look at that lake effect plume. It actually starts to back toward the Illinois shoreline, probably not quite getting there. But during the day tomorrow, that big storm system to our south, the first part of that, starts to bring some light snow in here during the late afternoon and evening hours. And then at night, snow becomes more widespread. And then on Sunday, this is when I think we're going to have our greatest chance of getting several inches of accumulation here. It's going to be a powdery snow, very little moisture in it, and that's going to blow around quite easily. And with temperatures like what I'm about to show you, salt not going to be very effective. So even after the snow is done Sunday night, there may be some impacts to that Monday morning commute simply because the roads are still a little bit icy out there. Every single day, way above, way below normal for temperatures. The normal high this time of year is 32. Not going to happen. It's 4:57. We'll be right back after this.
Pronamel, clinical enamel strength.